Good morning, good morning. My name is Rick Noda. I am the founder of T3 Body and your host for T3 Talks, where we tighten, tactical, and transition. Today, you guys, I'm here in beautiful Encinitas, California at Encinitas Family Care, where I can really kind of say it all began. You know, one nice thing about being a nurse is that sometimes, you know, when you become a new nurse, someone's got to take a risk. I was a new nurse, newly licensed, working in an assisted living facility, and I found an ad. Believe it or not, it was probably in Craigslist. I think is where Dr. Sexton placed the ad, and I answered the ad, came into the interview, and there was 2x4s in the room that you're seeing right now. There was literally, it was shelled because Dr. Sexton at the time was still in the process of remodeling. So when we came in to talk, he was like, hey, in about 45 days, you know, we're going to have everything set up and ready. Well, I had taken the nurse's exam. I had shown that I had passed. So even working at the assisted living facility where I was at, they hired me in pending status. So I said, hey, perfect, doc. In about 45 days, I'll literally have a written copy, or I'll have a copy of my license. So the cool thing is that, you know, after I left, you know, we had a great interview. You know, again, you don't know if you have the job or not. He called me back, you know, about 24 hours later, and I was hired. Well, when we got hired, you guys, it's as quiet as you hear right now. There was no patients. We had actually patient zero. So Dr. Sexton and I, you know, sat back in the room. We did a little bit of a war, like I call it brainstorming, or we war roomed it, and we decided to, you know, what are we going to do to gain more traction? Well, I got on the phone. I called hotels. I also got on the phone and called local gyms, things like that, where we could be kind of like a first responder. Well, I had a good friend of mine, Tom Carmody, who is actually an ER doctor in Chicago, and I called him and I said, hey, Tom, what can we do? He goes, Rick, no one likes the ups that come after an ER discharge. And for you guys to know where we're established right here at this primary care office, that Scripps Hospital is literally right across the street. So he said, hey, go to the ER and explain that you're a primary care doctor and you want to do those callbacks. Now, callbacks are, you know, you cut your hand in the ER. They want to follow up with your doctor in, you know, 4 or 5 days. Well, if you don't have a primary care doctor, then Dr. Sexton would be the doctor you come to. So they would almost mandatorily make you show up to us. Well, just know that those patients aren't always the most compliant. They're here reluctantly, but because of our style here, we were able to convert them. And we converted a lot of patients that had no primary because we were a little bit different. We weren't about numbers. We weren't about getting you through here. We were literally about the experience. If you could tell from this office right here, it doesn't look like your typical medical office. It's bigger, number one. Number two, it looks like someone's living room. And the third thing about it is time. We allotted 30 minutes for follow-ups and an hour for new patients. And that's unheard of. And it wasn't an hour filled with paperwork. It was literally, hey, let's talk. The other thing that was kind of nice is I learned that, you remember I talked about organized chaos, and I'm not going to say it, but we were able to triage some of these patients before. So we would call them ahead, get their medication list, so that when we were actually here, we had the ability to do what some doctors don't do. That's listen. So when I say our motivation inspires you to be better, stay tuned for this week and following weeks for Dr. Sexton and I, our program, and that program is going to talk about inflammation and literally how it affects every part of our lives. See you soon. T3 Body, you guys, is a company and a fitness company that really talks about the complete athlete. When I talk about our motivation inspires you to be better, all right, as a non-for-profit that supports military veterans that suffer from mental health issues, I really enjoy the support you guys are giving me here on YouTube. But again, I am seeking clients on my T3 Body. So if you go ahead and take a look at my website, understand that the intimacy of getting to know you starts with just 30 minutes motivation. So you go in there, you sign up for one of those, you get a one-on-one remote talk with me just like this. then I encourage you to go and look at one of my training plans, download a 4 to 8 week training plan, and really kind of just test your body, test yourself, and just really start to get yourself ready to then do the next thing, is where you get 4 or 5 of your friends together and dare yourself to be better, where there you have a little bit more of my information along with my training plan. You get some remote sessions with me regardless of where you're at. You notice if you're watching me on YouTube right now, you could see you can hear my voice, and I can train you, all right? And that 45-day dare is a great way to just see and challenge yourself to really do the final thing, is become a member. Being a member with me is a commitment, and it's made for just an elite amount of people. So when I talk about membership here, I really talk about a really elite group of individuals who really understand our core values of God, country, family, and really live by and have really adopted where our motivation inspires them to be better. So I wanted to touch on that, you guys, and really use that so that individuals like yourself who are getting better and inspiring others that understand that, you know what, we do need your support to keep everything going.